Same as the previous time. We're practicing, trying to get ready for that test. Make sure you've got the worksheet done first, and then go ahead and check answers. Cross multiply, distributive property, isolate the variable. Cross multiply, distributive property, isolate the variable. Again, set up a proportion with corresponding parts. Substitute the values you know. Cross multiply. Solve for segment DO. Set up a proportion. Make sure the corresponding parts are in the correct places. Substitute the values you know. Cross multiply. Solve for the length of AT. Again, if I'm going too fast, go ahead and pause or stop, whatever. Set up a proportion. Substitute the values. Cross multiply. Distributive property. Solve for the variable. Of course, we actually wanted the length from O to G. So if I know X is 10, I can substitute that in and find the length. Okay, the direction said it's a rectangle, so it's safe to conclude that opposite sides have equal length because the opposite sides must be congruent. So I can find the perimeter. Area of a rectangle is length times width. I can find the area. Scale factor is 2. So I have to take the original perimeter, multiply it by 2. I have to take the original area, multiply it by 2 squared. The figure was labeled with yards, so my perimeters are in yards, my areas are square yards. Triangle, because it's a right triangle, I can use the Pythagorean theorem. Find the missing side, which happens to be the hypotenuse. The legs are 8 and 15. How lucky can we get? Square root of 289 comes out to be exactly 17. Now that I know the third side, I can find the perimeter. Of course, for a triangle, the area, 1/2 base times height. Scale factor, k equals 1/2. So the original perimeter has to be multiplied by half. The original area has to be multiplied by 1/2 squared. So I have to do 1/2 times 1/2, and I'll get 1/4. Then 60 times the fourth is 15. The figure was in inches, so my perimeters are inches, my areas are square inches. Okay, we're looking for angle similarity. I know the 90-degree corners match. I know angle C is congruent to angle F, but I need one more angle. So I will solve to find the measure of angle A. Oh my goodness. So not only is angle C congruent to angle F, but angle A is congruent to angle D. So yes, those are similar. Number 10. Find that mysterious value for measure of angle A. 42 degrees. Oh no. 42 degrees is not equal to 43 degrees. Those are not similar triangles. I will try the first two triangles. So the shortest side on the first triangle is 4, and the shortest side on that middle triangle is 6. The medium side AC is 6. The medium side DE is 8. Uh-oh, those do not reduce to be the same. So I don't even need to do the third sides. I don't need to compare 8 to 10. That would reduce to 4/5, and that also doesn't match anything. All right, DF and GI, I'm comparing the short sides. Then I'll take DE, compare it to GH. Those are the medium sides. Now I gotta take the longest side, EF and HI. Hey, the ratios are consistent, 2 to 3 on each one of them. Yes, those are similar. Ooh, and look at the directions. Always read the directions. Write a similarity statement. So I have to write a statement saying that those triangles are similar. So triangle DEF, similar triangle GHI. Mix things up a bit, and I said, hey, let's put two different variables in there, X and Y. So I'm going to have to be a little bit creative on the proportions I set up. I got to make sure that I don't put more than one variable in at a time. So the 10 comparing the 15 is good news because those are just plain old numbers. And then the x plus 7 corresponds with 33. Cross multiply, distributive property, solve for x. Now again, when I set the proportion, I'm still going to want to have that 10 compared to 15. But now because I'm looking for GI, that compares to IP. What have I done here? GO compares to OH. Oh, hot diggity dog. Are we allowed to do it this way? It's not the way we've been setting them up, but it is consistent, so I've got the correct answer. This is probably not how I wish I would have done this. But GO corresponds to GI, so that's that right. Oh, no, I'm fine. I just had my brain confused there. GO is a corresponding segment to GI. OH is a corresponding segment to IP. We're perfectly fine. This is normal. My brain just is not working here late at night as I try to record this. But no, that's perfectly fine. Ignore anything silly that I said. Either that or find it a little bit humorous and chuckle. Know that we're not all perfect. But 24 indeed is the correct answer. That is the correct setup. Okay, this is one of the more straightforward, easy ones. X compares to 5. 10 compares to 6. Cross multiply. And the only weird twist here is that we can get a repeating decimal. 50 divided by 6 is 8.333333, with that 3 going on forever. So I could either put 3 3s and then put some dots afterward to indicate it keeps going, or I can just put 1 3 and put that little bar on it, and that means it repeats forever. Still relatively straightforward. X plus 3 compares to 4. Ow. Great, I got a pit bull in my lap now. X plus 5 compares to 5. As long as the Rottweiler doesn't join us too, I'll be okay. Cross multiply. Solve. We get 5. Hey, I don't know the length of segment CD. Or, I guess DC is how I wrote it. I know BD is X. I know BC is 20. I don't know the length of DC. Well, subtract X from each side. DC has a value of 20 minus X. Set up my proportion. 9 compares to X. 16 compares to 20 minus X. Cross multiply. Distributive property. Solve for X. 7.2. Again, that IXL is just a little bit crazy here. For whatever reason, I logged on and it says that we're level L instead of geometry, so go figure what they're doing. But if you go to level L or geometry, if yours says geometry, P11 is areas of similar figures.